Some, the topic is taboo. Others might find it even repulsive. Those willing to exploit it make millions. The two gentlemen joining us now say that it's time for Christians to get comfortable talking about it. What is it? Sex. They say God isn't afraid of the topic. In fact, He's given us more instruction about sex than parenting. Founder and president of the Smalley Relationship Center, Dr. Gary Smalley, is with us, along with his pastor, Ted Cunningham, of Woodland Hills Community Church in Branson, Missouri. They've teamed up to write this hot-off-the-press book, The Language of Sex, Experiencing the Beauty of Sexual Intimacy. Gary and Ted, welcome to 100 Huntley Street.
Thank you.
Now, Dr. Smalley, you're kind of treading in challenging waters here, as you've done so much over the years with language, The Language of Love, is one of the other books.
Right.
With so many relationship books, you've been on many national media between Oprah, Larry King Live, the Today Show, and so on. But why did you feel the need to be challenged like this and diving into these kind of waters?
I think I've always mentioned the sexual area in some of my relationship books, but it was like a chapter or several paragraphs. But I never really got into it. And then, of course, when I was 66 years old, I guess, my pastor, 35 years old now, was realizing how important this is as a pastor, because there's so many problems with our youth and with young couples in this area that the church never addresses it. And so he bravely waded into the water, well received at our church. And so out of his pastoral series, then we decided, let's do a book on this.
Well, Ted, I can hear some guys just saying, well, that's my kind of pastor.
Yeah, that's a book I'll read.
Yeah, I'll stay awake in church. But so why did you also jump into these waters and want to team up with Dr. Smalley on this project?
Well, sex, like having issues with parenting or having issues with in-laws or money or career and jobs, is an issue. And a lot of people try to fix the sexual area with sex. And we see it in the counseling office all the time. And I just started realizing, working with couples at our church, that parents have stopped talking about it and the church has stopped talking about it. We've left it up to schools, we've left it up to Hollywood, the media, and all that.
Their friends.
And their friends. They're learning about it. We don't have to ask the question, are young people talking about this? Are they learning about it? Yeah, they're learning about it. And so we're just saying, where are they going to get their education? Are they going to get it from us, trusted answers from parents, or the church? And so that's why it was received well at the church. And parents, we usually send our youth out during the service, but we started to see the parents come in. We started rating our services. Is this PG-13 this week? Is this PG? Because we wanted parents to make the decision, but mom and dad, and you should have seen them sitting there. Most of them are just like this, and every now and then but they're like, we need to start talking about this in a safe environment.
Well, death and sex are the two things couples don't want to talk about. And so we'd avoid it. And I remember I was in a pleasant discussion with my wife all the years, younger years. And then the other thing is that at my age, and with the medical problems that I've had with heart attack and kidney transplant and all the meds and so on and so forth, I can remember when I was like in my 30s and 40s and 50s thinking, wow, what a horrible experience it might be for me someday if I ever lost that ability. And so I wanted men and couples my age watching this show today to realize that there is life after that experience. And because my relationship with Christ is what's sustaining me, and did before then and does now. And so it's not like I've lost anything, because my relationship with Christ is so sweet that isn't a major issue with me, because I wondered what it was going to be like. And so that's why I wouldn't have initiated writing a book about this. But since the book, since we started talking about writing the book, I realized that sex is a reflection of the relationship. If you go straight at sex and try to fix the sexual problem with sex and different things, and some couples bring pornography into their marriage thinking, well, maybe this will fix it, and that makes it worse. And so they don't know what to do. They're frustrated, the man's frustrated, he doesn't understand what's going on. And so we get a chance to explain that that a great sexual relationship between a couple is the result of the relationship being where it should be first, and then that's a natural outcome. Right. So we say there's 3 things you have to have in your relationship before you're going to enjoy that part of your marriage. And so that's what's mostly, that's the first half of this book, is about the relationship, because it's only a barometer of what the relationship is.
And we want to touch on those 3 things. We don't have a lot of time in this interview, but we do want to cover some of that. But first, Ted, why do you think it has been so much of a taboo topic in the church for many years?
Yeah, I grew up in a very conservative and even legalistic church. We never discussed it. And what happened with me is sex became a very shameful, very guilt-ridden, guilt-prone topic and even event in my marriage. I mean, when I got married, I kid with people that I got undressed on my honeymoon underneath the covers, just out of embarrassment, because we never talk about it. We tell parents that if you put cute little names on body parts and you don't use correct terminology and you never discuss it, think about the messages that you're writing on your kids' hearts. Like, everyone else is using terms and slang. Mom and Dad, are you going to be real with me, or are you going to avoid it? And so I think a lot of it has to do with just the fact that we're embarrassed. It provokes this guilty, shame-based feeling, and I think what we've found at our church and even in our homes is talking about it removes that embarrassment and that guilt. We're talking about doing it in a tasteful, tactful way. We're not talking about using the slang with our kids. But I think the church has stopped talking about it is because we didn't know how to combat it with all that we've been given from Hollywood, movies, music, and we don't want to go to that extreme, and so we've just gone silent on the issue and left the education up to everyone else.